The past always matters. What I mean by this is quite straightforward. Anybody that tells you what they did in the past doesn't matter, they're starting clean, they turned a new leaf, a new page, they're starting fresh. Don't judge them for their past. Stay away from those. You have to understand, we as human beings, we are shaped by our past, our history, how old we are, our age. That's how long we've been on this earth. And all those experiences that we have accumulated from that time, they shape us to who we are today. And without the past, we have nothing. We're nobodies. So anyone that tells you, don't judge me for my past, why are you bringing this up again? It's already behind me. It's already in the past. I already forgot about it. That's something to really reconsider. Anyone that tells you they're starting fresh, that's when you gotta really open your eyes, because think of it this way. Why would anyone tell you that they're starting completely new? Oh man, this is a freaking mosquito. Shoot, I'm gonna have to kill that in a bit. Let's get back to this. Understand that anyone that tells you they're starting new, that means their past, their saved game was so effed up that they needed to delete that and start a new game. They messed up their build. They messed up their character. And there's no resetting that. You can't backtrack that. So what do? You start a new game. But guess what? Unfortunately for us human beings, we can't reset. We can't restart. We cannot reincarnate. So what's the next best thing? Tell people, hey, I'm a new man now. I'm a new person. I started fresh. But unfortunately, your memories, their memories are still there. Which is why everything in life requires a snapshot of the past. Just think of it this way. When you're applying for a new job, when you're applying to college, or any other higher learning program, what do you have to do? You have to provide your resume, right? You have to showcase your CV. You got to write an essay. You got to take tests. And these all require previous accumulated knowledge. Showcase what you've been doing for the past years, what you've learned. Therefore, you got no choice. The past matters. You gotta let them know your work experience, where you got where you received your education, how many years you worked here, there, and hell, to be honest, some of these positions, you can only get them when you're in that country. Which country did you grow up in? And the same goes with a relationship. You can't just willy-nilly waltz into one thinking you and her are just one on one for life. No, it's not that easy. Unless she's an orphan, you're going to have to deal with her parents, her family. Unless she's from the countryside, she's probably going to have a job too. You're going to have to deal with coworkers, her work, her time allocated to somewhere else. Location matters. Everything matters. Just her is the tip of the iceberg. There's much more underneath that. And that's just the immediate present, the people around her, her job, her career, everything. What about the past? What has she dealt with in the past? These all will come back and resurface one way or another. If they grew up in a terrible environment, it's gonna show. If she had an absentee father, that's gonna show. Abusive family, a great family, both parents present, siblings. She learned how to share with siblings, take care of them, help out in the house. Parents, grandparents were around, taught them how to do basic things like chores, cooking, all that. Those are great. Those are positives. You gotta look for positives along with negatives. It's all too easy to see the negatives because they stand out. But you also gotta look for positives as well. Everything factors in. Which is why you can only do the best you can do. And by that I mean you do the best that you think works for you. Not the best for the person, for the other person that you're pursuing, that you're chasing, that you want to get with. You're not doing it to impress them. You're doing the things you want to do in life because they satisfy your motives and your desires. And a girl, somebody else that comes into your life who values what you value, what you already have established is important to you. She values that, great. But you cannot mold or adapt yourself to somebody else because guess what? Like I said, you're not just molding yourself to that one person. If you truly want to do that, you're gonna have to cover the entire iceberg. You're gonna have to satisfy her friends, her family, her culture. And can you really do that? No. Once you satisfy that little drop, oh, you got much more to cover. It's gonna be endless. It's gonna be insurmountable. You can't do it, it's not feasible. Therefore, you can only do what works for you. See, I've got this close friend of mine. He's got his fair share of heartbreaks, exes. But in the past, he was doing stuff for the woman, catering to them, doing what he thinks the woman likes. But unfortunately, what he thinks is best turns out to not be her cup of tea. And what I mean by this, see, he provided stability. He was always around. And some girls, they don't resonate with that. Depending on their upbringing, their environment, their family, it could be a chaotic childhood. See, this specific example is, there's a woman. Her father is a CEO of a huge company, and yeah, she's about as wealthy as it gets, an only child. And with that, she's set for life. But why did she choose to abandon my friend over her ex, who was married at the time with 2 kids? And to go even further before that, they met during grad school where he was already married with 2 kids. So she was in essence a homewrecker. And not only that, he didn't get a divorce until like recently, and when they finally got married, it seems. But why did I tell you this story? It's because if you think about it, if she's set for life, she's got everything. She's also pretty. And we all know guys value the looks. There's no skirting that. Guys need a beautiful woman. And then comes the rest of the intangibles, the personality, the background, all that. Whoa, shit. But first and foremost, you gotta understand, looks play a huge part initially. So what do I mean by that? Why would she pick the other guy who seems to have nothing? No riches, saddled with kids, an ex-wife, over my friend? Well, that's because during her childhood, if a father were to be a CEO, he's gonna be super busy. When it comes to making money, a CEO, how much time does he have to spend with his daughter? Not much, right? So to make up for it, he's gonna have to come home and spoil her, buy her everything, dote on her. But in that short amount of time where he's given her all the attention, just like that, he's gone again. And with a childhood like that, she's gonna seek that challenge once again, because as a child, her challenge was to win her dad over, to get him to stay, to spend more time with her. She already got all the money. She doesn't need him buying gifts for her. She needs him. And you can kind of piece together the puzzle, because at one point, when she was with my friend, she told him to quit his job. She got all the money. He doesn't need to work. He just needs to spend all his time with her. But obviously, as a man, you gotta be able to support yourself. So of course he said no. But you can see how the psyche works with her. With this guy who's already married with his own family and kids. It's that same challenge. She's trying to win him over, get him to abandon his established family to spend all his time with her. And with this guy, he just shifts it to overdrive, because he's the one that's giving her the hot and cold attention, telling her, man, I will give up my kids and my wife for you. I can't live without you, that kind of thing. But guess what? He never did break up. He never did get a divorce until recently. This thing dragged on for close to a decade even. Probably more, exceeded that. But he would love bomb her. Spend the craziest amount of times with her. Wild escapades, vacations. And guess what? He's gone again. He's like, listen, I got duties. I got to return to my wife and kids. But eventually, after she broke up with my friend, they got back together. Fast forward a few years, guess what happened? They got married, the pictures were there, but aside from the marriage pics, the wedding pics, he was nowhere to be found. The Instagram updates, the stories, the pictures, the Facebook pictures. She's still traveling the world, but it's only her. Single. Is she single? Is she married? Who knows? But the point of the story is, once she won over the guy, once she acquired him, the challenge was over. The game is over. She beat the game. So of course, if you beat a game, what's next? Are you going to replay it? Or are you going to play something new? If you replay it or play something new, that just means you gotta start from scratch. You gotta reinitiate the chase, the courtship again. So obviously marriage needs to get broken up. That's why it doesn't look like it worked out. And even if they're still married, those single pictures and video clips, it tells you a lot. And with that being said, my friend totally dodged a bullet. And unfortunately for her, she may never find peace and happiness because she never escaped her jail, her prison. And I'm going to tell you this. Once you see signs of these, save yourself some time, some heartbreak. Cut your losses and move on. When you notice, when they let you know, they're still in contact with their ex. They're still in the picture, in the background, orbiting, looming around. That's just bad news because it takes two to tango. Sure, there's a crazy ex, but she has to choose to block him on everything, cut off all contact. If she's the one who's allowing this to happen, you have to understand you cannot truly control somebody. During those times when you're not with her, that's when she will do whatever it takes to continue contact. So you have to understand, unless you have the person chained up, cuffed to you, you can truly never control somebody. And with that being said, keep your eyes peeled. And I'm gonna go kill this mosquito. Peace.